Welcome to 40 Below Zero, an international podcast about life with invisible illnesses, hosted by two guys living with multiple sclerosis. Coming to you from the Keystone State of Pennsylvania, I'm your co-host Nix, and with me on this ride is Terry, a Londoner who calls Ontario home. We're so happy you're here with us as we continue to try and normalize a life that is anything but. So let's get into it.
My eyes are so bad. What color is that shirt? Is that like an olive? Anyway, welcome back, everybody. Glad you're here. What's going on, Warriors? Terry, tell me about the walk. You just did your NMS walk.
Yeah, I just did it yesterday. It was a new location. We got there. Everything was cool. I got to meet someone I haven't seen in 6 years. It was good. So we're walking the roll, and I see a guy coming towards me in a pink shirt. Who cares about the color? But his smile's like huge, and he's just smiling at me with his sunglasses. And I don't know who this guy is. I'm like, yo, do we know this guy? And he gets closer to me, and he takes off his sunglasses. It's Jonathan Allinger without a beard. So I was like, yo, he looks so different. Because you know what we know of is a beard, right? He kept it for so long. So he looks so good, man. He was walking from the other location because he went to the wrong location.
Really?
So,
but really, he's doing good. I know I haven't talked to him in a while.
Yeah, he's doing good. He's doing good.
Good.
I don't want to give up his story or anything like that.
No, I
don't want to say that he's engaged and all that stuff. He's doing good.
Good.
And then after the walk, he I was so tired, man, because it was a sunny day and hot. And I couldn't even get in it's a mini SUV, right? But it was really hard to transfer. So I'm so lucky to have her because she just picks me up and throws me in. And we look around, make sure no one's looking because it just looks bad.
Why?
But I look at her, I'm like, I'm done. And there's no smiles in me. I'm just like, I'm done.
I hear you.
She's like, I know, I see it. And then I get in the car and then I get home. It takes me a while to I'm going to say clean up. Because, I'm going into shorts and, I'm so fatigued. And Jonathan texts me. He's like, hey, are you good at this time? Because I told him, dude, I'm going to be so tired. So he came by. He passed by. We had a cool, 15-minute session until I told him to get the hell out.
That sounds about right.
No. I did. But he's like, hey, I'm going to pass by later. I said, yeah, bro, you're so good to come by. But 15 minutes. And then after 15 minutes, you got to get out.
Hey, it's okay
Katrina looked at me and goes, Terry, right? So I was just like, I started laughing.
It's okay to set those boundaries. I mean, that's totally I can give you 15 minutes. That's what I got.
I feel like such an ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know what? Honestly, sometimes even the best company can overstay their welcome. You know what I mean?
It has nothing to do with who it is. Right.
Exactly. It's just an acknowledgement that you got 15 minutes worth of energy, and then other than that. But so did you get the assist for the walk, or did you push the whole way?
Good question. I had the smart drive on.
Oh, that's right. You got the cheat code.
Dude,
I forgot about
I had
that.
the cheat code, and it brought up conversations with just random ladies.
Sure. I bet.
They were like, oh my God, that's so cool. And I stopped. I look around. I'm like, yeah. And then I just went back to them and said, yeah. And I just kind of demonstrated to them, I like to talk.
Sure.
So it was cool. And I got to see other ambassadors, man. It was cool.
Yeah, they're always great events when you any big society event.
Do you remember Tom by any chance? Tom I met him there. He was another guy coming from the other location. And he's like, where is everyone? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, where? And then Katrina's like, oh, it's over there. And he's like, oh. And then he's like, I'm going to go there and check it out. I'm like, yeah, go. And he's like, my wife is behind me following me because I told her I'm going to whiz because he's on a scooter. So he's going fast, right? So I said, okay. So as we're going, I look at Katrina and I say, yo, do you know which one is his wife? And she's like, no, but there's a bunch of ladies walking by. So what I did is I kind of rolled next to them. So I was just going to brush by them. And as I was brushing by them, I looked at Katrina. I said, yo, did you see Tom yet? And I yelled his name because I was hoping one of the ladies would react and be like, so I was like, did you see Tom yet? And no one reacted, so I never saw his wife.
Smooth move.
Yeah, bro. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, we bumped into his wife, his daughter, and it was nice. We got to meet her, and yeah, so it was a good time, bro. Thanks.
Yeah, they always are.
Yeah.
I had an event on Saturday up at the mansion, but it had to get rescheduled because we had a high wind. And
Okay.
when you have an outdoor event and every vendor has a tent,
Vendors and everything was set up.
well, they would have been. No, we canceled it the night before because of the wind, because we saw the forecast. But and it was super last minute, and all of our vendors were awesome about all but like 2 were awesome. They understood completely because they know that when the wind is up, gusting to like 40 miles an hour or more, their stuff's going to be all over the field. It's not going to be an enjoyable day. The tent, you know what I mean? It's just so, plus it's dangerous because we have these massive trees and, people hanging out under them.
Yeah.
So
I know what 40 miles per hour is because I know these winds because when I fly my drone.
exactly.
And I flew it, by
Exactly.
the way, yesterday. I forgot to tell you that. But
Did
anyway,
you? Do you still have the massive drone collection, or have you whittled it down to?
I have one now. Yeah.
Okay.
I
All
sold it or gave it away.
Very responsible of you.
Thanks, buddy.
But that looks like a beast. Let me see that thing again.
No, I mean, they all look like bees, but it's not. It's not. This is just the, it's
That
a good
shooting-
one.
Is that
but-
4K?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. This is a good one. But now there's much, yeah, it's
Well,
good.
does it have stabilizers is the question.
Dude, this is the top notch.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well,
But you
just,
can get
you were like, nah, it's okay. It's just
no, because there's other ones now. There's like, there's
Well,
8.
yeah.
This is DJI. They make so many. They make many
Okay.
that are lighter. This you
Okay.
have to have a license for. I have a license for this one because it's
Well, that's
heavy.
cool.
But there's ones where if you get it under 249 grams or whatever, you don't need a license for that. So the company's like, okay, we'll make them for 249 grams.
Yeah.
And they still work perfectly. You wouldn't believe it, man. And you cannot crash them. People are like, I can't fly them. And it's like, nah, man, they make it so you won't crash it. So, yeah.
Well, that's cool. So that's why we had to cancel that, which was a bummer because it was going to be a cool event. We had a lot of cool vendors, but we just rescheduled it. We didn't really like cancel.
Okay.
So they'll be back later in the summer. And then yesterday was like our hangout day up there. So that was cool because it's nice to just, when you put so much time and effort into something, it's nice to be able to actually just enjoy it.
I didn't know that you did, what is it called when you have vendors there?
Markets,
Is that what it is?
vendor. Well, they're just called vendor events.
Whatever. I didn't know you had vendor events.
We have like
Okay.
four or 6, like 4 or 5 a year.
Not to get personal, but usually they pay to be at these spots, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So you have to reschedule, and I get it. 2 people would be upset.
Yeah, they were hot too. They were like,
Yeah.
first of all, it's like $25 for a spot. It's so cheap in our thing. It's like, really? And we're moving it. You know what I mean? It's not like we took your money and shut down. It's just like, hey, we said, hey, we need to reschedule. So
Yeah. No, understand.
but you're going to get people like that regardless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was nice to not have to be out in the sun all day. Even though I did get my new ice vest, it just came in.
Okay.
Because my other one was kind of beat up. It was time to say goodbye to that one.
Same one? You just bought a new one?
Yeah, same one.
Okay.
It's fully adjustable. The only thing I don't like is the older model was Velcro closure in the front, so you just kind of overlapped it. This one has a zipper, and the zipper is not like the easiest for me sometimes.
Yeah.
So I have the little zipper assist tool.
I don't remember what we talked about this, but first of all, I don't remember what mine is, my vest. And it's funny because you're like, didn't you wear it? I haven't worn it. I've worn it one as a test.
I'm surprised you didn't
So I
wear it on
should've-
the walk.
Dude, I didn't even remember it till you just said something. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
But the nice thing is now that I've purchased the vest a couple of times, I have 3 full sets of ice packs. So I am never without ice now. Sun up to sundown, I can be nice and cool. So
Yeah.
So that was our weekend. Coming up on the show, we are speaking
I marked
with
it.
Karen. I'm going to say her last name wrong. Fecco. We came to know her from through IG. She just released on World MS Day. She released a one-woman show about her experience and her life. It's full of very personal stories, a lot of humor. It's definitely worth checking out. We'll certainly talk about it while she's here, and Terry will definitely link it in the bottom of the show. So let's bring in our guest as we do. Terry,
Awesome. Yeah.
deep breath, and here we go. Hello and
Hi.
hi.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Don't worry. That's so cool. We're so honored to have you on.
So, welcome to the show. So glad to see you. I just finished watching your special again on YouTube. It's probably the third time I've watched it in the last 48 hours. Fantastic. First of all, so open, so honest. Terry, it's like she was already on the show with us.
It was awesome. It was good. I have a few remarks we'll talk about after.
Of course.
But yeah. Yeah.
So how did you come to get to this show? How did you get to, I'm interested to hear how we got so comfortable that we're like, hey, let me get on stage, have the light shining on me, and let me just word vomit all of my story.
Finally started becoming open about having MS. As you know, the show is about hiding my MS for 17 years. It's a long time. And when I decided to, be open and talk about it, I felt like there was a story to tell. And I love comedy. And so it felt like if I was going to be able to do it in a way that could be fun and playful, that I could invite people into a story in a way that would be really enjoyable. So I started taking comedy classes at Second City and comedy bar.
So
Stand up, stand up and improv and also storytelling classes. Yeah.
just to recognize for those who are not familiar, and Second City is a huge name in comedy. If you don't know what SCTV is, you're younger. You're way younger than I am.
I hear that.
And you're also on the news 2 nights ago, right? It was a day
on
before.
Friday.
Yeah. So I know Nick couldn't see that because it was more of Canadian TV. So yeah, that was really cool. That's really cool. So
It was a
when
great
I saw you
experience.
on Instagram, I'm like, instant, come on, please, before other people just start gravitating towards you. So
I'm so happy to be here and be connecting with the MS community. Like for the first time, really ever. Touring the show over the summer was so the first time I even performed parts of the show. There was someone with MS in the audience who came and talked to me after. Is literally the first person with MS that I'd ever spoken to outside of a hospital. And so over the summer, all I did was chat with people with MS and invisible disabilities and other
crazy,
chronic
dude.
illnesses. And so it's definitely been the opposite of hiding it. And it's been pretty great.
Dude, I didn't hide it, but nobody knew I had it for 10 years. So kind of similar. A lot of people go through it, but the fact that you kind of came out of your shell and just like told a story, really cool. Like it took me years to get my vulnerability skills. You know what I mean? To be like, okay, this is what happens. And I feel like I'm a bit of a comedian, like in my own way, I make myself laugh. So, and during your story, you said cool stuff. And I'm like, this is like a lesson for me too. I know it was funny, but it's so true. Like, the only thing that separates, I know I have it written down, so I look down. Like the only thing that separates the sick and the healthy is time, or the which makes so much sense if you guys really think about it, right? We understand.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So I talk about, the only thing that separates the healthy and the sick is time. I think you can be like me and like a lot of us who don't have a disability and don't have an illness, and you're like, oh, I guess I'm not disabled. But that changes. That can change completely in your life. And so that's why I really feel like the show is for everybody, because disability and chronic illness happens. And actually, I was just because I'm a total stats nerd. And the last Stats Canada reporting said that in Canada, in Canadian adults, 45% of Canadian adults live with at least one chronic disease. 45%, So
It's almost every other person you're going to meet.
basically, right? And so why isn't this normalized in our culture when it's so normal, actually? And so we kind of compare ourselves to this sort of idealized, invincible self. Like, when did this become the standard? So
That's
yeah, writing the
crazy,
show
though.
has been, I'm like, why did I feel like something was wrong with me?
We're certainly conditioned to portray our optimal existence at all times, regardless of how many doctor's appointments we have, medications we take, intense relapses we have. Your relapse stories, I'm just like, wow, I've had relapses, but these are relapse. Like, these, you dip way back into and that's got to be super frustrating for you
What to, like, go
to have
back
that
and
many weeks of downtime.
oof, yeah, I mean, well, yeah, as you know, the illness changes over time. As soon as you get used to something and you're like, okay, that's how it's going to be, then it changes and you have to get used to that. And yeah, so my relapses did always last for 6 weeks, really on the nose. And then the one I talk about in the show is when it was going on for 2 months. And so I was like, I'm going to the club. And so,
Yeah. What else can you do? Like, I'm
Yeah.
sure at some point you just get like this caged feeling where you're like, I have to just do something.
yeah. And I definitely was just, and especially because I didn't talk to people about it, I was just exactly how I described, sitting on the couch 6 days a week, just, stuffing my face and having a drink by myself every night, maybe two. Um,
Yeah.
but I feel like that's, not this like picture of the sort of, you know, gluten-free yoga chronic illness person. Like, we're just people.
Yeah.
And we have our vices too. I just wanted to be a bit,
Very
let's
true.
be real about it.
Yeah,
So
and that's and so often we don't hear that. That was what I was like, wow, she's even more open than I am at that point, because I'm like, I never talked, and I still haven't really talked about the same exact thing. Sitting alone 6 nights a week, having a glass of whiskey, going, man, my life's going down the toilet. Like, oh, what am I doing here? So, so thank you is the only thing I can say for saying that out loud on stage.
So when you tell your story now, is it therapeutic? Because didn't really say it to anybody, and all of a sudden you just spewed it out. So does it make it more real? Are you like in acceptance? Have you always been in acceptance?
I mean, I was in, deep denial. I mean, I think I really, really accepted that I had MS writing the show, actually. I mean, I was on this real slow end of accepting. And I think especially if you deal with relapse remitting MS, a lot of us do, that, you go from disability to non-disability to disability to non-disability. It's Yeah, it's really confusing as to
Yeah.
like for your identity, you know? Um, and so writing the show helped me understand a lot of things. And I think it's not hard to perform. People ask me, oh, is it hard to get up in front of everybody and, be so honest? And it's really not. It was hard to write, though, because I really had to take myself back to exactly how it felt. And yeah, really take myself back into it. And every time I wrote a story, it never really was about what I thought it was about. Like the one where I fall down in the club, for me, it was always about that there was this really nice girl that picked me up and still wanted to dance with me. But the truth is, that story is really about how unworthy I felt that anyone should still be attracted to me when my legs don't work, so I learned a lot writing it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And because it's so confusing, a person tends to put their own identity on the back burner of the disease. They say, well, all I am is managing this. There is nothing else. I wake up and I manage the disease and I do my meds and I stretch and and then I go to bed. But there's a whole person in there.
I've talked about this before. I'm just curious what you think of the RRMS when someone asks you, what kind of MS do you have?
No one's ever
And you
asked me
say,
that.
oh, really? Oh, because you're not, you haven't really. It's crazy how you haven't met other MSers. You're going to meet a lot of MSers now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
there might be a few people from the show that contact you because we're all in the family now. You know what I mean? So I'm sorry.
I love that. When you wrote me, you're like, you're part of the family now. I was like, yeah, that's so nice. But because people meet me doing the show, they don't have too many questions to ask me because I tell them a lot. Although it's very common that people ask me what meds I was taking. That's actually a really common question. But
that's good questions, actually.
Beyond
Yeah.
that, I was
People
on
never
Mavenclad.
ask me that.
Yeah, I was on
Mavenclad?
Mavenclad, and so yeah.
Sorry, that's Terry. I interrupt everybody.
That's okay. I do too.
Yucks. Are you going to ever try that? I mean, I think honestly, maybe you're a little better than that. Because that's where people start off, and you already went on, and you did it on World MS Day, which is really cool, by the way.
Yeah, I was trying to be realistic about trying to put the show out at a time where I might be able to more easily find the audience for it, and so
Correct.
and that really helped with, I think, getting the City TV interview, which was such a privilege and really great. And actually, so I went to the MS walk yesterday for the first time ever. For the first time ever. And it was cool. And someone had said, oh, okay, I saw you on TV. I liked what you said about MS. And so I was like, great. Because it's all for the community. And so that always feels good.
Which province are you in?
Oh, yeah. So everyone thinks I'm from Edmonton because my show is live from Edmonton so I did the Fringe theater tour, which is a really thriving community in Canada, and so I toured it, and I ended up in Edmonton, which is a massive theater festival. So that's where I got filmed. But I'm Toronto based. I'm absolutely born and raised Torontonian.
Okay, there's a few people you'll meet in Toronto. They're Anyway, they're all part of the family. I used to live in Toronto. I moved to London, so don't make fun of me. I don't know why I moved here. But I'm a Toronto guy too, so
yeah, you said
I've been to the walk in Toronto many times. Yeah, so
okay.
Congratulations on your first walk.
Yeah, I mean, I did do the I didn't do the fundraising, which I certainly plan to. It was really just to show up for the first time and see what is this community. And it was totally overwhelming, actually, just seeing all these teams. There's the teams of people gathered around their friend or family member with MS wearing.
How did that make you feel?
Emotional.
Did you have family with you, or are you alone?
No, I just went on my own.
In the past, I went to so many walks where it bittered me up because I see people walking for their brother or their son, and I never had any of that. I'm like, how come no one walks for me? So I kind of lost track and I stopped going because I'm like, I don't want to go and remind myself that I have nobody, even though I help volunteer a lot. But I went this year because I have someone in my life that's like, we're going to go. I'm like, okay, cool, let's go. So I went yesterday as well. And I was tired after I came home and I had like a 2-hour nap and it felt like 10 minutes. I woke up and I'm like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, I kind of walked around the loop once. My legs were full jello. And then I just hung out and chat with people.
Cool.
But yeah, it was pretty. I've never talked to so many people with MS or people who are friends with MS or their daughter has MS, their son has MS, their mother has MS. It was intense in the best way.
It can definitely be overwhelming, especially when you get that whole wave of people coming at you. Now, is there any mobility devices in your? Do you use anything to assist you? Because you said you took a lap around and then your legs were jello. So when it gets to that point, what do you use? Anything?
I sit down.
Okay.
It's funny because up on my with my purses, I have this. My cat's about to visit us as well.
That's okay.
That's the best. That's the best. I love cats. Anyways, so I have this sort of portable stool that sometimes I just carry around for security. Like if I have to be in a long lineup or something like that, like at Service Canada or something like that, I can just make my little stool. And so that's as far as I've gotten. Although, I mean, truth be told, I crouch down a lot. Like in an airport or something, you will definitely see me. Like if there's no seats anywhere or something, or I'm in a lineup, uh, I'm just kind of sitting crouched down on the floor. This is like currently, this is kind of what I do. This. I'm finding my way. I mean, I think I would probably benefit from,
Yeah.
having other.
Well, it's a big mental step. If you're
Yes.
not forced into it by disability, like when you're still on the cusp of it, kind of like me, I never know which one to bring. I don't know. So my wheelchair lives in the back of my car. My cane is in the seat of my, and then my rollator's in the middle. So I roll with all this stuff because I don't know what I'm going to need.
Oh.
I should probably just pick one and go with it, but
Mm.
but yeah, it's a big
I
deal
get you.
because it's another level of acceptance. You have to accept that, like, oh shit, I need help, regularly.
Yeah, touring last summer it's a huge amount of effort. It's a lot of travel, and walking really long distances at the airport. And it was the first time I was like, and I'd watch people being driven on those little mini cars going through.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, excuse me.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
I've
man.
never,
That sucks. You have an invisible illness. You really do, because like you were like, and but someone in a wheelchair, where again, I said this over and over again, I'm in a wheelchair, but my problem's solved because my legs don't work. But it's like you need to wear glasses, you wear glasses, right? But people seem to look at me before they look at you, and they seem to think I need a lot of help in the moment where I look at someone with a cane and I usually help them. I'm like, wait, why don't you help them first? And then they're usually like, thank you so much. And I'm like, yeah, I'll speak up for other people now, because I was where you were, and I was struggling because I had an ego. And not to say you have an ego,
no,
but
it's cool.
I
I get,
was I was like, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. And then when I was not fine, I'm like, I'm not fine. And people were like, but I thought you were fine. It's the same story with everybody, right?
yeah, I was gonna say, so I made stickers last year when I went on tour. So I don't know if you can see that. So is it backwards for
Yo,
you? Can you read it?
we see
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So yeah,
Are you
and
selling those? I'll buy some.
yeah, I'll just give you one. And they were so popular. I couldn't believe how many people. Well, actually, because I have another one because school. So okay, because in theater, everyone before you go on stage, break legs, and I'm just like, okay, I got it covered.
That's
And
funny.
so yeah, so I would always offer people these two, and I thought the break legs were going to be a real hit with the theater audience, and they were. But over and over and over, people would take the invisible disability sticker for themselves, for somebody else. And I realized that this is everywhere. I mean, there's so many of us, and a lot of people don't quite know how to, me being in this department, advocate for myself yet. So yeah, I'm still the airport crouching down. But yeah, and I talk about having an invisible disability. But it's funny when people reviewed it, one of the reviewers said something like her sort of mostly and often invisible. And I thought, yeah, you're right. It is visible. Actually, if if you spend 5 minutes with me, you can't tell. But if you want to go on an hour-long walk, you're going to find out. And so I'm still figuring that out myself. And I do think about, what mobility aid is next.
So
Yeah.
my question is, having had it 17 years before outing yourself, as it were, do you feel like you got re-diagnosed? Do you feel like you've had it, but now everybody knows you have it, and you feel like it's now the first, like you're almost starting again?
No, I think because I lived with it for so long, and it's so lonely to be someone who doesn't disclose. And, in my experience, it means that you don't have support, you don't have community. It's really hard to ask for help. It took me years to ask for accommodations in my workplace. And so f- for me, it's been like really healing. Because I have it and I've always had it. So it's not it's just felt really real to me. It's felt really good.
Well, that's good to hear, because
Yeah.
I was hoping you were not going to say, "Oh yeah, I had to start. It's like I started all over. Now I have to explain everything again." Like, because I was like, "Oh man, I hope not."
No, it's been pretty great. It's been pretty great.
Like the weight's off.
Yeah, the weight's off totally. Yeah.
I've completely forgot until you started speaking of this. I used to always take a knee.
Ah.
I used to be like, okay, and I would just go down, just like, dude, I completely forgot about that. I used to always do that. And people would be like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'd relax my legs. And then when
Yeah.
it was ready to get up, because the line was moving, I'd get up, Yo, you
Yeah.
totally reminded me of that. Like, it was years since I ever thought of that. I'm just saying, when you listen to other people's stories, it
Yep.
becomes so therapeutic. And over again, you're like, and as you're talking, I'm like, oh, yeah. And I just ponder on my own. So can you repeat everything you said? I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I think like any of those chances where you can just rest your legs and get the
Yeah.
energy back in them, you I think you got to use. So yeah, I don't know. It's funny because I remember being at my neuro, the last relapse that I had, which was because it had been in remission for a bit, and so I had a relapse and I couldn't stand for longer than 10 minutes. And this is described as a mild relapse. And my neurologist was like, oh, that's a mild relapse. And she understood what she was saying as well, as she was saying it to me. But I find the language in the medical community kind of infuriating, actually, because once, like, I don't see any seats in the grocery store, there's no, I can't go shopping anymore, I can't, suddenly anyways. So it's quite, it's, it really changes your life if you can't stand for longer than 10 minutes. Anyways.
No, you're
So,
right. You're right.
So many different ways, like you're not social anymore
mm,
because they don't know that you can't stand and you're talking to someone and you're like, stop talking. I need to go sit down.
huh?
And you have something to say, but you don't start it because you know if you start it, it's going to go on to something, another topic. And so it kind of ruins your social life. It really does.
Yeah, it,
So,
it affects it. And I think maybe part of the good thing about having this show, personally, for me, is that everybody knows. So I don't really have to explain it anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
let me just explain it to you in the way that's the easiest for me.
You
Don't
told
ask me any questions. I'll just, if someone's like, oh, I'll be like, just here's the link.
yeah, you told everybody all at once. Now you're done. That's like,
Yeah. There's just so many misconceptions about MS and, like in our society. It just is the way it is. Like we, and you guys are doing this job. I'm trying to do this job and really, I think, changing awareness, improving awareness. It's important.
So you consider yourself an advocate?
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
For
Yeah,
sure.
I agree 100%.
I mean, well, I'm a professor, I'm an educator, and so I'm a communication designer, and so the sh- I really thought about what I wanted people to come out of the show knowing, and I made sure that all of it was in there in a way that was really accessible. And people would come up to me after the show and they'd be like, "I learned a lot." I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
When
you did. Yes, you
when
did."
Terry was describing it to me, he was like, it's a comedy show, but it's also like a TED talk. And and then one of the first things I hear when I watch it is about how you had to there was like a hiccup with your PhD, like
Right.
submitting your thesis. And I was like, oh man, that's super heavyweight. So to do that and then be able, and then to move through that, I learned a lot.
Y- Yeah, I think I mean, one of the aspects of the show that I really like and thought about was to bring people into the experience of MS when you're trying to work toward a goal and then you get sidelined out of nowhere. And that happens over and over again, and that constant having to get your momentum back to try again, I think is really relatable. I think it's one of the hardest things about MS is that unpredictability, and that getting sidelined when you're in the midst of trying to get something done. Live your life.
And I saw the way you thought when you were saying some of your story. Like you said that there's no categories, it's a continuum. I think the same thing, right? Where, like, I get it. There's different categories or types of MS, but, and I don't want to say that because I don't want to depress anyone, right? But in my eyes, I'm like, it's a continuum. You should always be working on it and preventing attacks.
Yeah, and I think everybody's on that continuum too.
I think so.
It's not. And I talk about this in the show that I thought there was like sick people and healthy people, and we're not supposed to intermingle or something like that. It's a crazy idea, but these are the kinds of things that you learn in like a deeply ableist culture, I think, when you're young. And so yeah, I'm really interested in not just ableism, but like internalized ableism, So I try to make the show accessible and just be like, hey, I'm an ableist, you know?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so people can think about their own ableist ideas in a non-threatening way without feeling judged.
So now that this special's out, what's next on your horizon?
um, well, I'm about to go back on tour.
Going on tour again?
Yeah. So I have a new show.
Coming to the States? Question mark.
No, not yet. Not
Okay.
yet.
All right.
Where are you based?
I'm near Philadelphia.
Okay. Um, not yet. We'll see.
All right.
So
Well, if you,
I'm doing the Canadian Fringe circuit again, and then I'm coming back to Toronto to do a few shows. And so I'm going to be in Ottawa, Winnipeg, and Saskatoon. I'm going to Saskatoon for the first time. Doing Fringe theater is pretty fun because I get to go to all these
That's
places in
huge.
Canada I've never gone.
Yeah.
You know?
that's a big
That's
deal.
huge.
Even
Mhm.
I know that's a big deal.
Yeah, they're real fringe sorry, not fringe, they're real MS hotspots as well. Like when I went to Winnipeg, I had no idea that Manitoba and Winnipeg were like major MS hotspots, and so people were really into talking about MS there. I had no idea, but anyways, so it's pretty interesting. Yeah, so I have a new show. It's called Who's Gonna Push Your Wheelchair? It's 10
Great
stories.
title.
Yeah, it's 10 stories. through my life, and it's really, well, since my diagnosis, and it's really about disability and independence, and the complexities that can come into all of your relationships and the high stakes world of degenerative disease. I think it's really real. I talk about stuff that I don't think people talk about enough, like financial precarity, and non-support from communities. I think it's all really nice to think about. People with MS must be, cheered on by a big community around them, but not necessarily. Some people take advantage of your vulnerability, actually, and so I'm uh, I'm talking about real stuff,
So
real
that's
stuff.
going deep. That's
Yeah,
that's real life. I can't.
yeah.
I wish I could get up there to see them, but I'll check them out when they hit YouTube for sure.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an annual thing. I already booked a camera crew actually for my Toronto shows. And so I think this is going to be the way it goes because I was saying to people too, like initially I was so excited to put on YouTube because then it's really accessible for anybody. You can live anywhere. You can, sit in bed or on the couch or whatever, just chill and take it in your own way. But it's actually really accessible for me because I mean, I legit don't have the energy to perform it to as many people as I want to,
It's very real.
Like, there's only so much touring that I could do every once in a while. Like, I would be like I have a disability. My energy is limited. You see me? So,
Yeah, it's true. Very
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
All right. So, Multiple Neurosis out now on YouTube. Highly recommend you check it out. Where else can they find you? Website, Instagram? Where are we going? Just so that we can book our show dates.
Yeah, everything. I post everything on Instagram. My handle's the same everywhere. So it's Karen Fekko, KarinFekko. Yeah, so I'm on Instagram, on Facebook, because a lot of people are on Facebook, especially MS community, and on YouTube as well. I'm Karen Fekko. So try and keep it simple.
We like it.
So I'll
Well,
be
thanks
there.
for coming in and hanging out with us and sharing your story. And I know
Thank you.
Terry's going to be reaching out. We're going to be reaching out a lot to check in on you. And please reach out to us so we can stay in the loop and know what's going on and all that fun stuff.
I'd love to come back.
Because like Terry said, you're part of the family now.
Thank you. You're both very lovely. I really appreciate
Thank you.
being invited on. Anytime.
Yeah,
All
for
right.
sure.
All right. Take care. Terry, that was a good find, my friend. I am so glad
buddy.
you reached out to her. What an amazing person. I'm gonna watch the show again because I know I missed stuff. I encourage everybody to watch it because you will take something away from it, and I can't wait to see the next show and talk to her again. That's for sure. What a cool thing she's doing.
Yeah, man.
So, thanks everybody for sticking around all the way to the end. We know we love and appreciate each and every one of you. Terry's
Always.
going to do the like, share, and subscribe.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Just put a comment.
Yep. Drop a comment.
Come on.
Let us know what you took away from the special or this episode. We love interacting with you. That's for sure. All right, brother.
All right, Matt. I'll
we'll
talk to you soon, bro.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
So check us out at 40belowzero.com. That's 4, the letter T, below0.com. Our email address is info@40belowzero.com. And if you don't want to email us, no problem. We're on Instagram as @40belowzero. Awesome. Looking forward to hearing from you, and we'll talk soon.